guys, just thought I would change it up a little bit. We are on my way back home from my pre-op surgery appointment. Just thought I'd give you a day in the life of what we do. Tiffany drives. I sit in the driver or in the passenger side seat.
I play chauffeur.
She plays chauffeur. What a beautiful chauffeur she is.
Oh, stop.
And so we just want to talk to you a little bit about what we went over in the pre-op. Now that we know, it was kind of a disaster. Unfortunately, it was a little bit crazy.
I don't feel like it was a disaster. Just
it was a disaster.
They weren't prepared, and it was a lot of information thrown at us that we weren't prepared for either.
Yeah. So obviously my surgery is in 2 weeks now. It's on the 14th. So we're hitting that 2-week mark. On the 9th, I got to go get my COVID test, and then I quarantine from that point. But today we were talking about the actual surgery, and the RN, or the nurse, the lady that is right below my surgeon that assists him, is who I met with. And the first thing that came up was that we were doing a hybrid surgery, and so they had the wrong surgery. They had the wrong surgery scheduled. So initially we were going to do, we talked about replacing all 3 discs. We pay for the 3rd. That's what we came up with. We decided that's what we told them. We already placed it in the insurance that way. But somehow in their paperwork it showed that we were still, you're good, you're fine. It's a little bumpy, it's okay. It's just like our conversation, it's all right. So what we talked about, and she was like, well, it looks like here we're doing a hybrid, which is where we fuse 1 disc and then we do the artificial in 2 levels. And I was like, no, we're doing all 3. And she's like, well, that's not what I have in the paperwork here. I was like, well, that's not what we discussed. So she was a little thrown off by that, but it's okay. It's fine. We're already good to go. The surgery's already scheduled.
But back up, the front office didn't have it confused because they wanted us to pay the $9,000 today. So when it came to taking our money, they weren't confused.
That's true. The first portion was, the first show was that they wanted me to pay today. And I was like, well, when I talked to you guys, I told you we'd pay on the 14th for my surgery. We needed a little bit of time to get the money together because it's a big amount. And they're like, well, I show here that you guys are paying today. And I'm like, well, I'm not paying today, so what do we do? And she's like, well, let me go get that department. And she grabs the lady, she takes me back, and she's like, okay, well, I just wanted to make sure we're all on the same page. You have to pay before your surgery. And I was like, I know, my surgery's on the 14th. And we had already emailed about it, talked about it, it's already on paper. And she's like, okay, well, you're gonna have to call us then beforehand to pay for it, or come in right before your surgery to go pay for it. And I was like, I can call you guys. If I can do it on the 13th, that's fine. I said, but I still need the extra 2 weeks to get the funds together. And she's like, okay, all right, well, we'll just go with that. I'm like, okay, let's go with our original plan that we had already put in place. That's a great idea. Oh, man. So yeah, that was the first portion. Then we get to the actual room and they tell us that it's a different surgery. So we got it all fixed, hopefully. We're going to confirm, obviously, when I call back when they call us for the initial surgery time. But yeah, everything went good. After that, now that we have it all figured out, the surgery center that we're having at the outpatient center, my doctor told me to go there right afterwards so that we could just see the facility and see if there was anything they needed. Turns out she came to grab me on our way out, and so we went back in a room to talk to the surgery center. She also had the wrong paperwork saying that it was a hybrid surgery. And she's like, oh, we've never done a 3-disc replacement surgery before. I'm so excited. And I was like, wait, what?
Did you get really nervous when she said that?
I got super nervous because I just asked the doctor beforehand. You've done a lot of these before and had good cases, right? And she's like, well, obviously we have yours, but insurance doesn't cover 3, so...
Yeah.
So now I'm like...
The surgeon is like, yeah, we do them all the time. And then the nurse is like, yeah, we do a few. And then the person that's actually at the surgery center is like, I've never done one of these before.
She's like, I'm excited. I'm so excited. We've never done one before.
Oh, my gosh.
And so, yeah, that was a little not reassuring. But, we got God on our side. We're good. my neck is going to be 100% healthy, and we're not going to have to worry about it. The only thing that'll be different that she said is that recovery is a little bit more, obviously, which leads me into my next portion. We asked about my scar.
Where the incision's going to be.
Where the incision, yeah, I didn't ask about the scar. We asked where the incision, how they do it, where they do it. Because I was thinking like either right in the center or maybe like off to the side a little bit. And she was like,
and
well,
we were thinking horizontal.
Yeah, we were thinking like a horizontal, like they're gonna, you know,
that's all we've seen.
Left to right, right to left, whatever. And that's just from videos and stuff that we've seen online when researching this product, but and the surgery. She said no, they're gonna have, because they're doing 3, they're gonna have to go top to bottom, vertical, and it's gonna be on the right side.
And she went like this.
And she held her hand up, and her little fingers couldn't extend far enough as far as how long the...
Ben's eyes about bulged out, and he's like, that far? And she's like, yeah, well, you need a big opening because you're doing 3 levels, so it'll probably be, you know...
Yeah, so it'll start at my jawline, basically, and go all the way down to almost my collarbone, is what I'm expecting, and what she was insinuating.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot bigger incision than we thought. Recovery is still about the same. They do, you know, I asked about the stitches and staples or however they do it. She said that they're going to basically do the stitches inside, and then once they go to close, they're just going to close it with glue, which I've had that on my back before. It's definitely freaky, kind of crazy, but obviously it heals a lot better, and you don't have as much of a scar because it heals naturally. So as long as everything goes there, that will be the case, that I'll have a new big scar all the way down, which will be interesting.
Whatever.
So, I mean, as long as, hey, look, I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what my neck looks like. As long as I am healthy and I can function, and I have movement, and I can finally function as a normal human being, then I will be good. So that's what we got our hopes on. I don't know if there's anything else you want to talk about.
I was really thrown off because we were asking about surgery time, recovery time, all of that, and they told me that I can't wait in the waiting room.
I forgot about that part.
Like, because of COVID and it's such a small office, I can't wait during his surgery. So I get to stay with him until they take him back. And then she's like, and once we take him back, you can just leave. Just go home. She's like, and then...
like it's no big deal.
I know.
Just go home. You're good.
Just go home. So go home.
I've never done the surgery before, but go home.
Yeah. So go home, and, you know, once he goes into the recovery room, and once he comes out of anesthesia, and once he's sitting up and, you know, talking and, you know, functioning, then we'll call you and you can come back and you can see him. So thanks to lovely COVID, I do not get to wait in the waiting room while my husband is having a procedure that this person has never done, apparently. So that was really hard for me, and I'm still processing that, trying not to cry right now because that's not at all what I want to do. So
it's not how it has been in my previous surgeries. It's not ideal.
So, that was something that I wasn't prepared for. So, figuring out what that looks like, because I'm not going home with my 4 children while I wait nervously for my husband in surgery. So,
So just to give you an idea, she said because the length of my surgery and how intensive it is, obviously, they're going to probably put me first, which their first surgery check-in time is 6:30, which would put me surgery at 8:30. They said the surgery is probably my guess is probably 2 to 3 hours, because they usually go under. And then after that, it is kind of waking up, getting out of the grogginess, and once I can sit up, then they said they would give her a call to come down. So I'm like, okay, so when I wake up from surgery, I won't have her there. And when I am trying to get myself together and recover for that first hour after waking up, she won't be there. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I mean, who knows, they may change it the day of. We didn't really fight it at all, so I mean, there's no real reason to fight because of COVID and everything. You just don't have an argument there.
Yeah, there's not much you can do.
But at the same time, it doesn't hurt to ask, like, hey, should I come back, you know, just in case? Can I come back, you at this time, asking those questions once we, go in the day of. So I'm sure there'll be extra there, but as of right now, that's how it's going to be. That as of 8 o'clock, she'll be sitting from 8 o'clock till 1, 2 o'clock with nothing to do, thinking about me and surgery. So, that wasn't as expected. We didn't expect that at all. It's kind of interesting. I've heard good things and bad things about surgery and hospital stays and doctor's appointments with COVID. This is obviously that negative side of it. So, we just want to let you guys know we are still hopeful. Obviously, we're encouraged. We know that the surgery is happening. We know that everything is in place. We know that God has us, that He's going to take care of our family. The finances will be there. We, are almost there for the amount that's needed for the insurance. So we thank you guys for all those donations.
Yes.
And so we are almost there to pay for the first portion of the surgery. We're still working on the second portion. And then obviously me being out of work for a couple months after surgery. So we are extremely hopeful. We know that we're praying. We know that others are praying. We thank you guys for all of your support. There's not enough thank yous in the world right now for all the support that we've got from you guys.
Yeah.
We love doing these videos and updating you, and I'm sure that you guys love them too.
Hopefully, if not, just skip on right by.
If you don't like them, it's fine. It's okay. We're not everybody's cup of tea, but it's all right. We try to be.
Yeah.
But we just thought that this one would be fun, doing a car ride on the way home, updating you.
I can see it bouncing out of the corner of my eye, and I feel like when people watch this, they're gonna get motion sickness from it.
Well, hopefully I'll be able to edit out some of that wobbliness.
Yeah.
There's a stabilization control.
Oh, great.
But I've never used it before, so.
Great, because I can see it.
If I don't fix this, we're just gonna apologize ahead of time. It's a new camera mount. We've never used it before. Got it on Amazon. Let me pull it real quick so I can call it out. What is this? This is an M-POW multi-angle dashboard car mount. This video is brought to you by...
Oh, stop it.
See, that's the funny part of our videos. But yeah, so that's all we got. We love you guys. We appreciate everyone. This has been 13 minutes. I'm sure it'll be edited down, hopefully. Our last one was 11.
Hope so.
But it probably won't be. It'll be like car rides. We would be singing, but I don't think she would do that.
Hard pass.
Hard pass. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna close off. We just want to say thank you again. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Obviously, the video is going to be posted, and you'll see it. But if you have any questions, reach out to either one of us. We're 2 weeks away, guys. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.